Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome back to Monster Energy Supercross for the official video game, where today I'm going to do a little kind of tips and tricks video to maybe help you guys go a little bit faster in this game and show you guys some of the things I do. Obviously here on the screen I have a graphic overlay of my Xbox One controller to try to show some things off. So quickly I'll just run you through my setup here. First off, this is my front brake right here, and this is... yeah, so that's my front brake gas, and then this is my clutch. This is my rear brake on the right bumper. I shift up with Y, I shift down with X. A, I think, is just rewind. B is to look back, and then obviously this is like your turning, and then this is your leaning on this stick. And I think that is kind of everything. But I'm going to take you through a couple techniques that I use today to do some different kind of quick things in the game. So let's start off with probably cornering is the thing I'll start off with here. And in like a typical bowl corner, what I like to do is mainly use the left stick, and the right stick is just a lot of like getting power down to the ground with the controller. So you'll see like a lot of like turning both directions with the stick. Like I'll come into this corner and I'll start off by leaning both directions and then let go of the right stick. Very like subtle movement there for sure, but like as I keep going through each corner, you'll kind of see that a lot of it is more like left stick heavy, just trying to use it to kind of like meter control out of the corner. And one thing that you guys like should probably take note about this game is Supercross 4 likes it a lot better when you're just going the right speed for the corner. So while it sucks that you have to get slowed down a lot for like every single corner, it's really just a way of it trying to keep you from going like a little bit ridiculously unrealistic fast in each corner. So you got to use the brakes. You got to like, usually I just use a lot of the front brake to get stopped for corners so that you can, you know, turn the kind of turns that you need to make, and then, you know, go the right speed for the corner. If you're just trying to stay wide open all the way through every single corner, you're not going to make every turn. So it's a lot of kind of making sure you're going the right speed in and out of corners. Basically the speed that the corner will let you go is the max speed that you're kind of allowed to carry, I feel like, in each corner. And yeah, my cornering technique, like I feel like it's just a lot of using this left stick here. The right stick is more for, you know, just kind of trying to meter it into the corner and get the guy to kind of lean into the corner a little bit. But anyway, corners I think is something that you guys don't struggle too much with, because as long as you're going the right speed, you get it. Whoops is a section where I think people are struggling a little bit, and the key thing that I do in the whoops, I call it the whoop glitch. It's basically leaning back with both of these sticks, but you don't want to go all the way down. Like all the way down with both sticks means you're going to loop out. So you want to kind of meter it just below all the way down, all the way through. But you'll see like if you come out of this corner and like I'll just click into fifth gear and get on top of the whoops, and then it's just kind of like hitting each whoop and riding that wheelie, but not letting it loop out. If you let it loop out, you can see that the stick was kind of like bouncing as I was going through it, like this almost. If you let it loop out too much, you're just going to crash. You're going to fall off the back of the bike. So it's kind of like trying to hold a wheelie with a very like subtle touch on the controller, and letting, you know, more or less the wheelie ride at its peak without looping out, because then you just hit each whoop with the back tire and you just carry a lot of speed. It's like a super unrealistic way to go through whoops. Like, yes, you can wheelie whoops in real life, but it's very difficult, challenging, and sometimes even just straight up slower to do. So it's not really a technique that is realistic, but if you're trying to go faster in the game, it's definitely one I'd recommend doing. I'll show you guys again here going through it. But yeah, like I said, it's really just about metering both sticks. And I've heard some people say that using the left stick doesn't matter at all with that, but I've tried to do this with just using the right stick, and it doesn't have the same effect. I promise you. You'll want to use both sticks. You also want to be using manual gear. Some people don't like using manual because it just means too many button pushing, and you can see like I'm using a lot of Y and X, and, you know, moving my fingers. Like this finger, my right finger, is going back and forth between Y, X, and the stick quite a bit. But if you get used to that feeling and used to that motion, before you know it, you'll be fairly comfortable with it and be able to go a lot faster because of it. Manual gearing 100% is a much faster way to go, because automatic gearing hinders you in the whoops. You can't get into fifth gear. It'll hold you in second or third so that you're not going a certain speed that's too high, because it doesn't think that it's really possible. But lugging the bike through the whoops, oftentimes, like even on a dragon's back, it's still a fast way to go. So I would recommend using manual gearing. Now the next thing I want to talk about is seat bouncing. And seat bouncing, again, a lot of people are telling me that using both sticks doesn't matter, but I think it does. I think if you do the down up method that you see in a lot of games before, like you can see me through this section here, down up on every single one with both sticks, I think it straight up works. Now, I've tried it again with just the right stick, which is supposed to be the rider stick, you know, and it does work fine if you're trying to do like more subtle seat bounces, but if you're trying to get the big burly, like let's see, I'll come out of this corner here, right? And I want to try to triple around the corner. So I seat bounce with both sticks to the back, and look, I made it the distance. I just didn't get the turn all the way around, but then the finish line, I was coming up pretty slow to it, lean back with both sticks. And honestly, sometimes I don't even do the pull forward thing. It's just a matter of leaning back with both sticks, and it gets the rear tire to dig into the ground a little bit more. It pops you higher into the air. It's a technique that I feel like, again, once you just get comfortable doing it, you're just going to almost do it on every jump subconsciously, and it's about playing time. I did this technique a lot in Supercross 3, and it seems like it's carried over to this game. The whip glitch technique is definitely more exaggerated in this game, I feel, though you could still do it in Supercross 3. But again, seat bouncing, it's almost like you're trying to backflip off of every jump. So just like think about it with leaning back with both sticks off every jump, like you're trying to backflip, but then obviously when you take off, let go of the sticks and you know, kind of level the bike out, try to get yourself prepared for the next section, and don't complete the backflip, and then you'll get a lot more air time because of it. So seat bouncing, I don't think is that difficult of the ones that I've kind of explained so far. Like cornering, obviously it's its own thing. Like you need to learn how to corner, obviously, but the seat bouncing technique, it's fairly simple. Once you just do it a couple times, you'll realize kind of how huge that little extra boost off of each jump is, and can help you. Now the next thing I want to talk about is, and honestly I'm not the very best at it, so I'm going to totally botch it a couple times here, but it's basically, like, I call it the mad skills glitch, which is basically just like trying to stay rear tire to the ground as much as possible, land in a wheelie a lot, and you can see I'm not very good at it. Quite honestly, I'll give you a shout out here to a fellow YouTuber named Axis. Axis does a lot of hot lap videos and stuff like that, where he basically just sets like kind of world records on different tracks, and he's very good at the game. And he does this method on almost every jump, which is like, you know, wheelie into the face and let the front tire ride over the face of the jump. Honestly, this track is not even that good of a track to show it on because there's not that many jumps that really matter. But like you see right there how I let the front tire all the way up to that like tabletop. And I'll do this on the Dragon's Back too. Don't be touching the sticks at all when you take off. Like kind of let it go as you get to the jump face. And it's like a scrub without scrubbing. It's like getting the front tire over the jump. Honestly, you see these guys in real life do this quite often when they're trying to get over like a little roller or a single into a section. They'll wheelie into it and let the front tire drop on the back side of it. Think of it like you're doing that. Like you're trying to get the front tire over the very lip of the jump and let the front tire ride down the back side of it. There's a couple times for sure that you could definitely get yourself caught up in going over the bars with that. But straight up, like this is the way to go fast. Like if you're doing this method on every jump and you can do it consistently and in each transition and everything like that, you're going to get so much more time off of your lap time, like just doing that consistently. And then again, doing it there, like, I mean, I just pulled away from my ghost that I was next to and caught up to this other ghost. And again, like you can do it on every jump. You can do it on triples. You can do it on the, not really so much on the whoops, but you can do it on these little singles, the doubles. You can do it on tabletops for sure. Every jump allows you to do it. It's really just something that I'm not very skilled at, quite honestly. So one of those, you know, things where when people say that I'm not very good at the game, yeah, straight up, I'm not very good at doing this specific skill, but it is something that you can still learn and use on occasion. I definitely use it on occasion on some jumps straight up just to go a little bit faster in certain sections. But, you know, it's one of those things that if you learn it, you'll definitely go fast. So again, it's just, you know, lean back with both sticks or even one stick and just try to get the front wheel over the top of the jump so that you kind of like let the front tire just skim the top of it and just continue on like that, you know, on every jump. And there's some jumps you can't do it on for sure, but there's a lot of jumps that you can. So that's my kind of like wheelie over the face of a jump technique. Another cornering technique that I want to teach you guys about is rear brake sliding. I just can't even English today. Rear brake sliding. Again, my rear brake, for those of you that maybe missed it at the beginning, is on the right bumper, and I have, you know, brakes on different inputs, so it's not like my entire brakes are just on the left trigger. That's just my front brake, and my rear brake is on my right bumper. But you can do this kind of like easy way to turn around quick. So if you come into a corner, I'm not even going fast enough into this corner, but you see how I grabbed the rear brake and slid the rear end into the corner. I'll definitely be able to do it better into this corner, but still get on the front brakes and then let the rear end slide around in the corner by holding onto the back brake. So even on a straightaway, you can kind of just do it like by sliding the rear end and I'll go down. But in a corner, it's very easy to do it. A lot of the corners in the game, I straight up don't do it on the stock tracks because the corners are too bumpy. But if you're playing on a track editor type of track, you can definitely gain a lot of time by sliding the rear end in the corner. And then just like you can use the clutch, but honestly, it's just about like you can come into the corner and like listen to this, for example, watch. So you see how I had the engine wide open while the brake was still in? Like I didn't get the corner very clean because these corners are very bumpy, so the bike likes to turn a little bit harder than I like. But on on a track editor track, you can come into these corners, slide the rear end in, hold the engine wide open by holding both the rear brake like I'm doing right here, the rear brake and the engine, so I'm not going anywhere, but the engine is like spooled up like you're pulling in the clutch almost, and then you dump both, and then the engine is already in a high rev, so that you're just on your way right after that. Like it's in a way it's like using the clutch a little bit, but just not doing it to a massive degree. And again, the reason I do that most of the times is if like I'm trying to cut down in a corner, so I'm coming in here and I want to end up on the left side of the track, so I'll square off the corner like that. Again, it's just kind of just like grabbing the rear brake all the way into the corner and just letting the rear end slide around and let off the front brake, but keep turning with the sticks and stuff like that to get the rear end to kick around in the corner, so that way you've got the rear end all the way slid around before the next section, and you're going straight again instead of like having to worry about still coming out of the corner while turning. You've already completed the turn because you've swung the rear end around. It's not the perfect technique, and it's one of those techniques that I'll honestly advise you not to do too much of, especially if you're just doing stock track racing and not doing the track editor stuff. Because again, the track's too bumpy. Like if you just focus more on consistency, which is another point of this video that I wanted to make, consistency, hit your lines, hit your marks, go the right speed in the corners. Like if you're trying to go too fast in every corner, you're trying to push, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, you're going to go down a lot more. You're going to lose a lot more time. So you just have to really think about how much speed you can go into each corner with, how much angle in each corner, and it's a feel thing 100%. Once you get to a level where you're understanding how much grip you have on the ground, how much turning you need to do, the game will kind of come at you a little bit easier, I feel like, and you'll feel like you'll pick some things up a little bit quicker. I can talk about scrubbing and whipping a little bit, but honestly, it's another technique that if you're just good at the wheelie thing up to the face of the jump, it's better. But again, you can scrub both directions. That was leaning the sticks into each other. You can also lean the sticks away from each other to scrub like that. And it's a great technique for sure if you're good at it, to kind of save a little bit of time. But honestly, it's one of those things that I don't really love doing because I feel like the bike always ends up laying a little bit further to the right or to the left. Even once you've got the bike straightened out, it'll still land and turn like hard right or hard left very quickly. So again, I scrub sometimes I don't. It kind of depends. So I'm going to end this video real quick with a one lap kind of just like trying to lay down a heater here and talk you through a couple of the techniques like I said. But let's see what we can get done here over the finish line jump. I've been doing like 54s the whole time, but again, you just want to get down to the inside. You want to tuck in tight, kind of seat bounce with both of the sticks there, and then do a lean back, pull forward, seat bounce there. Grabbed a little bit of rear brake right there, but not too much, and then wheelie glitched kind of over the face of that jump right there. Land the speed that the corner needs you to go and just carry speed through there, second and third a lot of the time. You can triple into this rhythm, so you can triple in there and then again use the seat bounce technique to quad on, step off, and then you can even do a little tiny scrub into this corner, carry speed through this corner, again the speed that the corner will let you go, land on that rear tire and the whoops to just get this kind of wheelie glitch going all the way through, and then you just go again the speed that the corner will let you go through there. You can't push too hard or else you're just going to make too many mistakes. And then hard on the brakes. I use only the front brake into this corner because you're just trying to get the bike stopped. The rear brake will kind of kill the engine off. But there you go. There's like a whole hot lap at a 52.3, so we lowered our time a little bit from what I was showing you guys. And that's kind of a little tips and tricks videos. If you guys have any more questions or comments or things that you'd like help on, I'm happy to answer them. I will be trying to do a bike setup video at some point, so you guys that are asking for the bike setup video, that will definitely be coming as well. But hopefully this taught you guys some things. And if you're still kind of confused about some of the techniques, please head down to the comment section below and ask me. I'm happy to help out with anything that I can. and just want to help you guys get a little bit better at the game so you can maybe use some of these techniques that I use and use them on your own as you continue to play. So thanks guys for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed this video as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.